Hello. I wanted to let everyone know that I'm feeling better, and I think I'm going to continue doing YouTube videos. Because I'm nobody special, but I believe I have a different voice, a unique voice that can help add to the eclectic field of voices out there, and that I have wide subscribers such as JT Franklin's and TV on the Porch. Iona, who really likes Leo. I feel like I should continue doing this. I'll have good days and I'll have bad days. Anyway, this is my 39th edition in the Bible study of Matthew, but today I'm not going to be reading from Matthew. I'm going to be actually reading from Luke, and I believe this is going to be a two-parter because this is 16 verses, and Luke goes into this in much more detail with the two healings instead of just a 12-year-old daughter of Jairus. So this is going to be part 1. This is Luke 8:40. Now when Jesus returned, a crowd welcomed him, for they were all expecting him. Then a man named Jairus, a ruler of the synagogue, came and fell at Jesus' feet, pleading with him to come to his house, because his only daughter, a girl about 12, was dying. As Jesus was on his way, the crowds almost crushed him, and a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years, but no one could heal her. She came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak, and immediately her bleeding stopped. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. When they all denied it, Peter said, "Master, the people are crowding and pressing against you." But Jesus said, "Someone touched me. I know that power has gone out from me." Then the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet. In the presence of all the people, she had touched him and how she had been instantly healed. Then he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." While Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue ruler. "Your daughter is dead," he said. "Don't bother the teacher anymore." Actually, I think I might continue this. Hearing this, Jesus said to Jairus, "Don't be afraid. Just believe and she will be healed." When he arrived at the house of Jairus, he did not let anyone go in with him except Peter, John, and James, and the child's father and mother. Meanwhile, all the people were wailing and mourning for her. "Stop wailing," Jesus said. "She is not dead, but asleep." They laughed at him, knowing that she was dead. But he took her by the hand and said, "My child, get up." Her spirit returned, and at once she stood up. Then Jesus told them to give her something to eat. Her parents were astonished, but he ordered them not to tell anyone what had happened. And, this is what is really interesting about the Synoptic Gospels is because the stories parallel each other. This is very, very similar to Mark's. Almost to the letter. I kind of like Mark's version because it has him speaking. I don't know if this is Aramaic or Hebrew. Talithi kum, which means, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." And Matthew and Matthew leaves out the woman, the bleeding woman, altogether. But it's all. But it's an important. It's something I find very interesting, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to read Luke instead of Matthew. And I just. First off, I want to say, going. I can't imagine what it would be really like to be Jesus at that time. Basically, having like crowds surrounding him. And the thing is, if that was any other human, it would go to his head. If there was any other person, I mean, you could see that power corrupting, but it didn't corrupt him. And I mean, it just, I mean, that's why, I mean, he is not a normal man. And I mean, it just, I was talking to a guy who I believe is homeless. I mean, I didn't quite ask, but he was playing the harmonica outside of Triangle Market here in Madison, and we just talked. Had a great conversation about God, about war, about the futility of war, about Jesus, about fundamentalism, about extremism, about everything. And I brought him up for a reason. And now I can't remember why. Oh, yes. Talking about how that I believe that Jesus is what we all were supposed to be like before the fall. Pure compassion, pure love, and more than that, selflessness. And that we're a community under God. That we are all God's children. Not just the Jews, not just the Christians, but I mean, we all have to come to Him and go through Him. But we're all, and there's no selfishness in Christianity. And still, I mean, he it didn't go to his head, and I mean, I mean, some people might say, if Jesus was all-knowing, why did he ask who touched me? And some people might say that it was to get her to respond. And one thing that I found very interesting is I know that power has gone out from me. So I mean, that's why Jesus was God in the flesh. God in the flesh. And so I mean, this is whenever I hear that, I know that power has gone out from me. I kind of I wonder what that means. But then, but the woman trembled at his feet, and daughter, your faith is healed. You go in peace. And I mean, and when Jairus heard the words that any father would dread to hear, your child is dead. And I don't know. I mean, the people were wailing and mourning. Some people said that they were like people who were paid to mourn and wail. But some were. I mean, they might be fun. They want. I mean, the point. What I'm trying to say is it was more to show that they're wailing and mourning, not out of any true compassion. I mean, I could be wrong here. And then when Jesus said, "Stop wailing, she is not dead but asleep," they laughed, they jeered Jesus. They said, "Oh, what do you know? She's dead. We know she's dead." And just, I mean, their crying turned to laughter and jeers. And then she got up and gave us something to eat, and her parents were astonished, and it just showed the power of Christ, the power that God has given him. And it's amazing to me. And I think that's really what I want to say. It's amazing. God bless you.